Thank you, Randy. It is extremely hard when you know Jerry Mix not to go into stories in depth. Few people in this room have done occupancy sensors to find deer along the end of the roadway, and many, many other things Jerry has done. But I'm going to take a different tact, with your permission. After Jerry gets this award, I think you want to be aware there are 3 or 4 things you ought to talk to Jerry about. One, there are very, very few people in this room who have the entrepreneurial drive, who have started businesses with literally a ladder and just a great personality. And as part of that, he literally changed our industry's awareness of how a simple thing like an occupancy sensor could save all the watts that today are being talked about across the country as a new Green Deal. And he was there, and he made it happen, and talked to him about what it really takes to do that. Second thing, he built a company. He built a huge, successful company called the WattStopper, and it's still a brand name many of you are using every single day, and he took it up to a world-class company. That is a lifetime achievement, but there's only one job tougher than that. And when you got to replace a founder of a company who's been around for 25 years and be willing to sit next to him and take that company and triple it, and not only do that, but guide it from independence into a very important sector company of an international firm, that is extraordinary. And the team is with him, the industry is with him, and it's with great pleasure I asked Jerry to come up and be ready to talk to you about how in the world you pull that off.
Terry, thank you for those kind words. I'm glad you didn't bring up one of the subjects that I thought you were going to bring up, but we'll leave that one alone. Randy, thank you to the Edison Report. Really appreciate this tonight. And, you know, careers are really, and you talked about it, but are defined by the people that we grow with over a long period of time. And I had the, let's say, the privilege of working with so many people for so long. When I think about my career, the funny part is I actually won't think about the products. I'll think about the teams of the people that I work with. Starting back at WattStopper, and many of those people are here today, and I can't thank you enough for coming. And then, you know, obviously with Fine Light for the last 7.5, 8 years, and the privilege truly of working with Terry and the Fine Light team has been just incredible. And Terry mentioned the conglomerate along the way. Well, I also have the interesting situation where WattStopper was acquired by Legrand, and I worked there for 15 years after they were acquired, working with the Legrand team. And they were all part of us growing it to be a much bigger business. And it turned out that Fine Light is now part of the Legrand Group. So I did this twice. And you know, it actually has worked out really well both times, and we're continuing to lead Fine Light going forward, so it's a real exciting time. You know, there's a unifying theme in my career, and it's called passion and collaboration. And what happens is that, and I think everybody in the room, we all are passionate about lighting. We are all the lucky people to be in an industry that literally has changed the world in the last 30 plus years. I mean, what Terry talked about, when I started, a 2x4 was 200 plus watts. All right, and all you had to do was turn it off and get savings. And we've really changed the world over those last 30 years. But what's interesting is I actually think the next 30 years will be more exciting. What's going on right now in this industry makes it even more exciting going forward than it's been for the last 30. You know, in 1982, I read Amory Lovin's report called the Negawatt, and I said, that's going to be the industry, energy efficiency for lighting. And then in 2011, McKinsey came out with Lighting the Way. And what's interesting is those reports are about 30 years apart. And we are now just in the beginning of Lighting the Way. And it's the people in this room that are going to make a difference in the world. We got to get the young people engaged, and we got to take those next steps. But it is going to be a really, really great time for the lighting industry for a long, long time. So, the last one that I wanted to just say is that I want to thank my family. My son is here today. My wife isn't here, but, my family supported me for the 35 years being in this business. And I couldn't have done it without them. And then the last, on my desk, it says, right above my desk, it says, involve me, be bright, be brief, be gone. And so with that, thank you very much.